I don't need a fucking cosigner to post rhymes for controversy. I'm calculated, your validation does not concern me. You created a character you can market, but I'm sharp enough to sharpen my view. Whenever you charge him, I can...
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You're now tuned in to the Very Blunt Sports Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Taye the Loose Cannon Adams. The blunt is now in session. Let's see what we smoking on today. Come get all of this smoke, but before you do all of that, please continue to like, subscribe, and share on my YouTube channel. Please press the notification button so you get everything as soon as it drops right before it hit the street. You'll be able to get it first. I want to thank everybody for helping my growth, for helping me hopefully reach my goal, which is 100 subscribers right now. Really working hard at that. I want to thank everybody for supporting the Nubian Blaze and the Very Blunt Sports Podcast fan page on Facebook. Without y'all, there ain't no us. So we definitely do thank y'all for that. So now some of the topics that we gonna be talking about today. First off, we're gonna get into some NBA action. I know it's early in the season. People looking at the Lakers and the Nets as the possible favorites to go. What y'all gotta understand is, like I said, it's still early. Chemistry still gotta go on. Chemistry is the main part of any team and any association, because you can have the right people on paper, but if you ain't executing it right, it just looks like shit to me. Not saying that they look like shit, but we seen a lot of these super teams. We seen a lot of them fail. We seen a lot of them succeed. Sometimes it's ego driven, sometimes it's front office driven, but whatever it is, we back in the spirit of the NBA season. Speaking of the NBA season, the NBA released a list of the top 75 players because they're doing their 75th anniversary right now. The 50th edition was made in 1996. So if your favorite player got drafted after 96, more than likely they're not going to be on the 50th list that came in 96. But hopefully most of y'all players is on here, and we'll talk about people that might have got snubbed, should be on it. But first off, we're going to go down the list of names. Please bear with me. It's actually 26 because it was a tie. They didn't say who the tie was, but I'm somewhat satisfied with this list and I like it. I'm going to read it off. We got Dwayne Wade, Jason Kidd, Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton. One of the main snubs from that 50th anniversary, and they finally did it justice, was Dominique Wilkins. Go back and look up Dominique Wilkins if you're too young to even seen him play or even know what he was about. Just know and understand that he was Mr. Atlanta before Deion Sanders and Michael Vick got there. So big ups to him. Dennis Rodman, he's on the list now. That's real deserving because of the contributions that he made to the Pistons and to the Bulls, and what he tried to do after his career, with the Bulls, going to the Mavericks and the Lakers, even though both was a debacle, but it was still a good pickup because Dennis is a real good cleanup man, regardless of what you think about him and his lifestyle choices. But on the court, he was the man. Moving on, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, excuse me, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Bob McAdoo. That's another one that should have been on the 50th anniversary list. Same thing with Reggie Miller. But now we got Dirk Nowitzki, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steve Nash, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Chris Paul, and last but not least, man, that y'all know him as the answer. Me personally, when I do my dedication episode to Mr. Allen Iverson, I'm calling him the culture. I'm calling him the icon. Yes, the answer is his name, but he needs to be added on because of so much stuff that he did for the NBA, for the hip-hop culture, and for basketball, period. He don't get enough credit, and I think it's real shameful, and it's just flat out wrong that he doesn't have nothing to do with the 76ers organization, not even as a brand ambassador. Who better to talk for Philly and speak for Philly than him? He might have not won any championships, but he played with a lot of heart and a lot of dedication, and he deserves to be up there on this 75 list, and he deserves to be known as one of the game changers not just in sports, but in the culture, period. Now we're going to get on to who might have been snubbed, who wasn't on the list or whatever. A lot of people have been pointing at Dwight Howard for not being on the list, and honestly, I feel that he should be on the list. He was really supposed to be the second coming of Shaq with everything that he was doing. Four-time defensive player of the year, made it to the finals as the Orlando Magic. They just went up against a good Kobe Bryant team and Lakers team. I don't know if it was a popularity contest. I don't know if he rubbed people the wrong way or whatever the case may be, but we shouldn't focus on what this man does outside of the court. We should be focused on what he does on the court. Now, lately, the past couple of years, he hasn't been consistent or whatever, but he found a role with the Lakers and got himself a championship. So, big ups to him, big kudos to him. A lot of people that I noticed that wasn't on the list, and a lot of people have said this probably due to, injuries or not having a long season. But then when I looked at it, I'm like, hold up, because I thought Vince Carter was going to be on the list. I'm looking at it like, hold on, like, do y'all not know what this man has done and how long he has been in the game, even though he became a journeyman? Same thing with Tracy McGrady, who ain't on the list. Same thing with Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway. These dudes in their prime was monsters. They was beasts, and they should at least have an honorable mention section or something like that. We all know that, career-ending injuries, period, happen in the game, but these dudes shouldn't be overlooked for what they contributed and what they was able to do in the game. That's just my whole thing, my whole spiel about it. Tell me what you think. You know what I'm saying? Did they miss a player? Did they forget a player? Did they snub a player? Whatever the case may be, a lot of people pointing the finger saying Kyrie should be, on the list. Kyrie is probably, in my opinion, the most skilled point guard right now. If we're just talking about basic skills, he's that guy. So maybe it might be too early. Maybe he didn't play enough regular season games. A lot of this shit could be added up and factored into why some of your favorite players didn't make this list. But for the most part, I am satisfied with this list. We got a lot of good names, a lot of good active names, a lot of champions on this list, a lot of MVPs, everything that you would want. Anytime you set out and you make a list like this, it's going to come back with controversy. A lot of people just ain't going to agree. A lot of people ain't going to like. There ain't no big word or any type of good metaphor to put to it. You can't satisfy everybody. You shouldn't aim to satisfy everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody ain't going to be satisfied. That makes sense. But before I forget, definitely got to give a shout out to Chicago Sky for winning their very first championship. And it was like a lot of people didn't come out and show them love in Chicago. Like Chicago Sky, they got their very first championship off of a real good team. They beat a real good team, in Diana Taurasi, who's called, the WNBA, the female GOAT, which is real, arguable. And you got Brittany Griner, who sounds like me when I got a cold. Like don't mean to shit on her, but I'm really not convinced if that's a woman or not. That's just me. Her and Wendy Williams is the only woman that I've ever really questioned about being women or not. That's just me. But we're gonna go on to the football edition of things now. Before I get into this weekend is Halloween. Please protect your kids. Please be safe. There's a lot of fucking crazies out here. There's a lot of people that like snatching up kids and doing all other types of shit. I'm still going, keep an eye on my kids, monitor them, even though they're old enough. My two, they're old enough to go out on their own and do certain things. But please keep your kids by you, because I call this shit the pedophile holiday. Not saying that people shouldn't, celebrate it, but we know what them types of people is. They like, oh, there's kids around. Yeah, so fuck them. Anyway, back to the football. Now, speaking in the Halloween spirit, I hope a couple of these teams for Halloween on Sunday really dress up as a team and play like a team, because, man, some of these teams, they suck. They just need to bounce back, or find some type of way to recuperate or anything like that, or just flat out just look forward to the draft. If that's your only hope, if you're tanking on purpose, I guess keep tanking so you can get a good pick. I wouldn't recommend it because me personally, I like to win. I like for my team to win, and I like to be known as a winner, and I like to be known as a champion. Right here, right across the chest. That's me. And speaking of people that need to dress up and actually, I don't know, pretend to be something, but actually do a better job at their job, is the one and only Roger Goodell. Now, if you've been watching this show and you've been liking and subscribing and sharing and hitting that notification button, you will see that I don't like Roger Goodell. How he handles situations, how he goes about handling those situations, he shows a lot of favoritism to certain things. You could go back and look up the Zeke Elliott situation, the Ben Roethlisberger situation, hell, even the situation with the Patriots as far as the Spygate and the deflating of the footballs. He has favoritism. He doesn't handle things the right way, excuse me. And I just think he has his targets that he go after. Then he has his targets that he slaps on the wrist. But one instant, now Roger Goodell told league reporters that they don't have enough information to put Deshaun Watson on the commissioner exempt list. He hasn't played at all this year. He's been looking for a trade. Hopefully that goes down for him. I know the Panthers and the Dolphins was looking at him, but nothing has came about that. So I hope Deshaun gets his situation straight. I mean, this is a lot of charges, 22 civil charges. It's looking like the football version of Bill Cosby. Everybody's coming out the woodwork or anything. I ain't saying any of these women is lying, and I ain't saying none of them, and I ain't saying that they telling the truth either. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that they being truthful. I ain't saying Deshaun Watson is lying, but there's a shred of truth in just about damn near every story. The reason why I called this the Bill Cosby situation is because everybody came out the woodwork years later trying to condemn this man, trying to put him down and stuff like that. And I see that in Deshaun Watson and everything that he's going through, or any other player that might go through. I'm not automatically putting these guys on a pedestal because they play, professional sports. They're human beings too. And all of these people coming out the woodwork, we gotta accept the fact that some people, looking for a payday, some people looking for a come up. It's just what it is. Jay-Z said it best. You heard the rhetoric. Jigga hit me over the head with a champagne bottle at the bar. Can he buy me a car? Nah. You know what I'm saying? How is that going to nurse your pain? Really? You know what I'm saying? And the reason, if you know the law, you will know the difference between basically real court and civil court. Anytime basically somebody goes to civil court, and it's just my opinion, they're looking for money. They're looking for a come up. So, and they know that this man is a high profile athlete, signed a big contract, making millions of dollars and stuff like that. So when you're in that certain field, you in that certain tax bracket, a lot of people, come at you for sport, to try to get their name up, get their fame up, or as we call it now, straight clout chasing. But that shouldn't be what it's about. You know what I'm saying? If somebody really did something to you and you a civilian, go about it the full extent of the law. I mean, you're a civilian, but if you're playing street motherfucker, then handle the shit the street way. That's just my opinion about things. So hopefully Deshaun Watson, I don't know why I keep calling him Deshaun Jackson, but Deshaun Watson, hopefully you get your situation straight, bruh, and let that be that. Now, we got a Thursday night game coming up. The Green Bay Packers going to the desert to play the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. And J.J. Watt could possibly be out for the remainder of the year. He's been playing through a shoulder injury and things like that. He is the heart of that team. He is the heart of that defense, or I should say. And hopefully, everything goes good for him. He comes out of it, and hopefully, he'll be back by the playoffs. But the Packers, they put Alan Lazard and Devontae Adams on the COVID-19 list. So they're going to be missing those two dudes. Those are two of Aaron Rodgers' main weapons right there. Just got to see, if the bad man is really bad. This is probably a real good implication of what the playoffs might look like between those teams. So just be ready and look forward to a good Thursday night game. Now, another football news. The New York Jets signed Joe Flacco from the Philadelphia Eagles, excuse me. Now, me personally, I don't know if that's going to really make an impact on the Jets because they fucking suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that's going to do, signing Flacco. I mean, granted, yeah, he is a Super Bowl MVP, with the Baltimore Ravens, but after that, what has he done lately? I know he went to Denver and really didn't do anything. I didn't even know he was still on the squad, to be honest with you. I ain't going to sit here and act like I knew that Joe Flacco was still in the league. I'm just surprised that his ass is still in the league. You know what I'm saying? But Khalil Mack, he's going to be missing some time. If he gets put on the IR for his foot injury, there's a good chance that he won't come back for a good 3 games, basically until he's medically cleared. That's a big hurt piece for the Chicago defense. And just letting y'all know that the NFL trade deadline is November 2nd, so please keep up with, your team and who they might get, who they might give away. Of course, I'm here to always report on it and say what I got to say about it. But I do know before I started recording this that Mark Ingram is back with the Saints. That ought to give him a little lift up, in this division game that they're going in against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So hopefully that works out for them. It's good to see him back. It's good to have him back. To me, he's very underrated. He deserves more credit than what he's been getting. Which brings me, to the Houston Texans. Now, within the past, I want to say 2 to 3 years, that's Mark Ingram, that's DeAndre Hopkins, that's J.J. Watt, and Deshaun Watson wants to leave. So that say a lot about their organization as a whole. That say a lot about their culture, what they're doing and what they ain't doing in the league. Which brings me to the Houston Texans chairman and CEO. He had to apologize for making some remarks at a golf tournament. He said they couldn't get together in 2020 because of the China virus. Talking about the coronavirus, I guess he incorporated that with Chinese people or whatever the case may be. That just shows his lack of knowledge. That just shows his ignorance. And that just shows his just all around dickheadness, if that's even a word, but I just made it up, dickheadness. But if you look at the Houston Texans as a culture, this isn't the first time that somebody in their organization that made some fucked up remarks or said some real crazy shit. So I think they need to check their racist meter, probably turn it down a little notch or two. But that's just what it is, and that's what I'm going to just say about it. So now we're going to talk about Roger Goodell. Now, as you know, there's been a whole situation with all of these emails, 650,000 to be exact. And the only person that got the hammer cracked down on him was John Gruden because of his involvement. But Roger Goodell says that the NFL is not going to investigate the Washington football team and their culture and they just all around dickheadness and fucked upness that's been going on with them. Now, one thing that stood out to me was this motherfucker said that they're not going through with the investigation because the people that came forward in the hotel room or wherever they came forward at, he wants to protect and seal their identities. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? All right, let me school y'all on a little something. Now, when the police got a confidential witness or a confidential informant, they don't put that person's name on the paperwork. Some is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know shit about snitching. But you could protect the identity of these people and still move forward with the disciplinary process of everything that's going on. What do these people being anonymous or anything got to do anything with how y'all conduct or how y'all go about y'all investigation. See, this is why I don't like Roger Goodell, because he's picking and choosing. He has his favorites in the ownership in the NFL. And Dan Snyder's wife, she might be running the team, but we all know that he's still making decisions. He's still, doing this, he's doing that. It's called a silent partner for a reason. And so the whole Washington football team culture, what that basically says to me is y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all don't want to do nothing. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with it. And basically these motherfuckers could still basically sexually harass women, still sexually assault women, and basically get away with it. What is the NFL doing to change his culture? They're still, beefing about whether if a female could be a referee. Like, that's crazy. So Roger Goodell, please dress up as a real commissioner for Halloween and get this shit together, because you fucking up, buddy. You fucking up, and you fucking up big time. Like, that's just all I really got to say about it, for real. Now we about to get into Taye's picks. Every week, I basically challenge myself, and I tell, all my viewers to challenge me and challenge my decisions. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I ain't got no problem with admitting to being wrong. I ain't got no problem with saying, yeah, I fucked up on that pick or anything like that. We all learning and growing to continue to do this thing together. So, with that being said, now I already said something about the first game. The Green Bay Packers going to the desert. They're going to Arizona against an undefeated Arizona team Thursday night. I'm rocking with Arizona on this one. They only got one key injury, whereas the Packers, I ain't gonna say coronavirus is an injury, but you just can't do shit. They won't be able on the field. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man, but the bad man is solo right now playing the best team, so I definitely got to go with the Cardinals on that one. By the way, we got five division games. Y'all watch this show. Y'all seen this show. Y'all know how I feel about these division games. It just puts me in a different mood. I get hyped up for it and all of that. So the first division game we talking about is Carolina at Atlanta. I'm going to believe in Atlanta. Even though ever since they Super Bowl debacle, they got a real bad habit of getting the lead and blowing the lead. I'm still going to rock with them. I'm still going to believe in them. I'm not even putting too much emphasis on this one. Miami at Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo. Buffalo is just an all-around better team, all-around better organization. Miami is a real disappointment right now. Miami, Cam Newton's still out there. Sean Watson out there. I mean, just saying. Then we got San Francisco, 49ers. I'm going to call it San Fran. It is what it is. They're going against Chicago. They're going to Chicago. I'm taking Chicago with that. San Fran has been letting me down the past couple of weeks. They've been doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think Chicago is going to start clicking on all cylinders. They're going to start doing what they need to do, out there. I don't want them to waste, Justin Fields' potential. You know what I'm saying? And with Khalil Mack being out, not saying that they're going to make it to the playoffs, I'm just saying that they should win this game. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles going to Detroit. I ain't putting too much emphasis on this. Detroit is still 0-7, and I don't think that they're going to get their first win off of the Eagles. So, fly, Eagle, fly on that one. Then we got the LA Rams going to the Houston Texans. Now, Rams is looking good, real good, whereas the Texans is just looking bad. And with them letting Mark Ingram go, they just don't have no all-around game offensively or defensively. Defensively, so not picking them at all. Oh, how can I forget about this division game? Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Baker Mayfield is still doubtful. He's maybe. Pittsburgh coming off of a bye week. Look for this game to be a revenge game due to what, the Browns did to him last year in the playoffs. Not only just beating them in the playoffs, but forget what player it might have been Baker Mayfield, but he wiped his ass, with a terrible towel. I mean, disrespect at its finest. Now we got Tennessee Titans going to the Indianapolis Colts. Can't lie, Carson Wentz is looking real good right now. You see that his ankles really ain't bothering him and doing what he need to do, doing what he's supposed to do. But this Titans team is just they just better than them right now at this point. And I do see the Titans winning the division. So hopefully I'm right on that. Then we got the Bengals against the Jets. Like, no, just no. I don't think nobody in their right mind is going to pick the Jets to win this game, even with Joe Flacco. And basically, after what the Bengals did to the Ravens last week, they're highly slept on, and they want people to wake up. So look for them to deliver a beatdown on the Jets. Now we got the New England Patriots going up against the LA Chargers. I'm definitely taking the Chargers. To me, they just a better looking team. They say you really can't count out Bill Belichick because he's a mastermind, but he ain't masterminding nothing this year or for the past 2 years. Patriots just need a whole makeover. Shouldn't have let Tom go. Now we got Jacksonville at Seattle. I've been taking Seattle for the past couple of days. Past couple of weeks. And they've been letting me down. They let me down in the Pittsburgh game. They let me down in the game last week. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to be back. Hopefully, something happens between now and Sunday to get them right back on track. But even after all of that, I'm still taking Seattle. Now we got the Washington football team at the Denver Broncos. I like Washington's defense. I really do. And they say defense wins games, but the only way the defense is going to win games is if you don't have them on the field that much. These dudes are tired. They overworking. They doing more than what the offense is doing. So in that regards, I'm definitely taking Denver. Now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. Even with the addition of Mark Ingram, I'm still taking Tampa Bay to win. They didn't win the division last year, which was probably rare to Tom Brady being over in the AFC East where, the Patriots was just dominating and winning 5 straight divisions or something like that. They was just tearing it down. Didn't win the division last year. It was actually New Orleans. So look for Tom to want to put that feather in his hat, not only having the Super Bowl ring, but winning the division. And hopefully, they do good enough to catch a bye week. Probably not, because right now how the league is standing, it looks like Arizona is going to get one of those bye weeks. So I'm definitely picking Tampa Bay to win that game. Now we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings. That's the Sunday night game. Taking Dallas, their offense and their defense is looking better than Minnesota's right now. Kirk Cousins really ain't a bad quarterback. He's just probably an inconsistent one. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Dallas is just better on offense and defense. They're clicking on all cylinders. We don't know if they're sitting Dak Prescott out for the game, but regardless of what it is, I still got Dallas winning this game. Now we got the New York Giants. They're traveling to Kansas City against the Kansas City team that's basically been a debacle for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm looking for Pat Mahomes and the rest of the gang to basically get their shit together, basically come off, do it right. I don't got them losing against the Giants, you know what I'm saying, even though the Panthers lost to them last week. But I don't got this Super Bowl worthy, Super Bowl dynasty creating team in the making, really losing to the Giants. Now, with that being said, if your team is the Baltimore Ravens or the Las Vegas Raiders, you got a bye week this week. I think the Ravens need the bye week more than the Raiders do. The Raiders have been clicking on all cylinders. They've been doing what they've been needing to do. And even with all this controversy and everything going on, they still showing that they ain't bending, breaking, or folding. Shout outs to Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? I know you like that. And the Ravens, y'all need to get it together. It seems like y'all just depending on Lamar Jackson. And defense got to do better. The offense is where it's supposed to be, but Lamar is running for dear life. Not even the simple fact that he's a good runner, but he has to run and he has to create those different plays and everything that's going on with them. So look for all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically, everything in a whole, everything as in a nutshell. I wanted to get into something real quick. Shout outs to cousin Taye, my Nubian Blaze partner. It's been, some technical difficulties with things, with our production and how we, moving about things. We just want y'all to know that we do try to make things right every single day. We do try to keep, the team intact. We do try to make our goals. Like I said, once again, we want to thank y'all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Continue to hit that notification button, please. Keep supporting, a Nubian Blaze. Keep supporting, Very Blunt Sports Podcast. As you know, not just in the business life, but in life, some people will fall off. Some people will feel some type of way. Some people just gonna be lazy and not want to work and want everything handed to them. I wake up every day trying to make something different, trying to make something happen for myself. I don't make no excuses. I don't like having a pity party for myself. I like to get up and rise for my wealth. I don't like feeling sorry for myself for none of that. Just know that y'all stick with me. I'm gonna stick with y'all. Y'all be loyal to me. I'll be loyal to y'all. And we just gonna keep doing it how we doing it. And that's just that. Like I said, there's a couple things that's been on my mind, a couple things that I've been smoking on, but not smoking on like that. I smoke weed. But certain things is gonna shake, certain things gonna happen as long as you got the will to keep believing in yourself and doing what you're doing. I don't do this for clout chasing. I don't do this for notoriety. I don't do this shit for fame. I do this shit from my heart. You know what I'm saying? I speak from my heart. I'm real. Some people say, I'm real to a default, but I ain't gonna never change who the fuck I am. And me being who I am is what got y'all to liking me, is what got my, page close, my YouTube page, close to 100 subscribers. I'll take any little bit that I could get. You know what I'm saying? And that's all out of the strength and the love for y'all. So with that being said, this is Taye Adams in the Blaze Up Studio signing out. Until next time, love yours.